All right, we are tiering teams by how many wins. We are projecting wins and
Oh boy.
losses on today's video, and I can't wait to be an Adam rank meme. You know, when
Oh
we
my goodness.
rank teams and people are like, "Oh my God, how could you rank my team this bad?"
Yeah, this is going to be
We're gonna
very
win more than
interesting.
3 games, Adam.
Yeah,
Here we go. So I'm putting myself on
100%.
the other side. We both are, and we're trying to come up with a collective list here. So this is always interesting. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna go
No.
team by team. Let's start with the Rams. I got them in A, which is 12 to 14 wins.
Yeah, I completely agree. This past year they went 12-5. They won the NFC West. I have them
Yeah.
in the A tier as well. So I think that's pretty
Okay, cool.
easy.
All right. Now we have the Cardinals. Where do you have the Cardinals?
I have the Cardinals. I have them winning 8 games. I feel really confident there. So in the B tier, last year they went 11-6. D Hop is going to miss the first 6 weeks. I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable putting them in the B tier. I don't know if you have
I
them
have
there.
them around the 9 to 10 win game mark as well, so I'm comfortable with that. Yes, they won't have D Hop, but I think Hollywood Brown is going to be so explosive for this team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I'm happy there. Falcons.
Mm.
This is my first team in the 1 to 3 wins category.
Okay.
How do you feel about them?
Oddly enough, I actually think they can win. Last year they were 7-10. Did you know that?
They had Matt Ryan last year. So
I don't
this is
know. I don't
a
know.
completely different team
100%.
if we're talking about
I
last
think
year. They
no,
don't have Calvin.
no, they don't have Calvin. I mean, Calvin didn't really contribute
They
much
don't
at
have
all,
Matt
in my
Ryan.
opinion. I actually have them in the
They
four to
lost a
eight.
lot of people.
I have them in the
Okay.
4 to 8, like winning that at least that four games. In my opinion.
Okay.
So I have them there,
I'm
but
happy to consciously put them at the end of this tier then.
yeah, sure.
There's certain things I'll fight for, but I won't fight for the Falcons. We got the Ravens here. I also have them in the A tier. I believe that they're a 12-win team. If you look at before Lamar Jackson was injured, this team was atop the AFC, the entire conference. And this team was the most injured team. They set records for the amount of injuries they had
it was
last
bad.
year. So I think this is an incredible team. I think they're going to remind people again this year. I have them around 12, 13 wins. Where do you have them?
Yeah, I have them the same. I have them in the A tier as well with the Rams.
Okay. Bills. Where have you got the Bills
The
here? Because, by the
Buffalo
way,
Bills.
15 wins,
That's nearly
that's
a lot.
almost impossible. I mean, it's very rare a team gets 15 wins on a season.
Yeah, so I actually have them in the A tier as well. I think they could potentially win 15 games. I think that is
Yeah,
a possibility. But let's be realistic. I think 14 last year they went 11-6. This team, in my opinion, does get better, but the division also gets better. The Patriots, Dolphins, and the Jets, etc. Not that they're going to lose games, but they're going to have some tough games
Yeah.
down the road. So,
Yeah, I agree. The addition of Von Miller, this team coming back another year, I think they have, like you said, the chance to win 15 games, but it's hard to win that many games.
100%.
Everything has to go
100%.
right. Now we're up to the Panthers. Where do you have this Panthers team?
yeah. I actually have them. Once again, I think they can win up to 4 games, but I actually have them in the F tier. I
Really? Okay.
I don't believe, and the only way they are not in the F tier is if CMC stays healthy. Last year they were 5-12. That was without CMC. That was with the back and forth quarterback with Sam Darnold. It's tough. It's tough. Like I'm happy to put them in the C tier as well, but I think these are one of the teams that I don't see them progressing more. But definitely could be wrong here.
I think their defense is pretty underrated, to be honest. And having CMC, Baker, how many wins is Baker worth? At least one win compared to what they had last year, right? I mean, at
Right.
least one. I feel like C tier is more fair.
Yeah, I'm happy to put them in C tier as well. Like, once again, another one
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
we don't have to fight for.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
All right, the Bears. This is one of the teams in my F tier, along with I had the Falcons there, but I find it really hard to see them winning. And it's not that I don't think that they can win more than 3 games, but they have probably done the least to build around their quarterback, and they got worse defensively. They got younger, but they got worse right now. So I think this team is going to struggle this year. I have them right around 3 to 4 wins. So I'm going to put them in the F tier here. Someone's got to be in the F tier.
No, yeah, 100%. Look, I have them in the C tier, but I can agree and see the pathway of them winning,
Yeah,
minimal games. I have them in the 4 to 5. Last year there was 6 and 11. That was not with Justin Fields
sure.
on the field the majority of the season.
Yeah,
This year he's going to play a full season. I think he can get at least 6 wins. So I actually
okay.
have him in the C tier, but I'm happy to put him either way.
Yeah, it's so hard when you look at like what's the ceiling of a team win wise and the floor because
hmm
the floor is lower, but the ceiling. Yeah, I also agree. Like the Bears could win 6 to 8 games.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me
hmm
either. So do we want to put them in the C tier or do we want to put them in the F
Let's put
tier?
him in the C tier, and then if there's no one at the F tier at
Okay.
the end of this, we will maybe say, okay, what's really.
I didn't have many people in the F
Me
tier, and
too.
so far we don't have
I don't
anyone
have
there.
many
So
people in that tier
let's see
either.
how
That's
this
what I'm
goes.
saying.
Okay, the Bengals. Where do you have the Bengals?
I have them in the A tier as well.
Yeah,
10-7
agreed.
this past year. I think they will get better this year. Another year under Joe Burrow. Another year with Jamar Chase, et cetera, and crew. So I
Yeah.
could see them going 12-14, or winning 12 games. Excuse me.
Yes, this next team is super interesting because I believe that if we recorded this before the Deshaun Watson suspension, you might have been pretty harsh on this
hmm
team. Now, has your tune potentially changed on the Browns season? What could happen with them?
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday on the live stream. I was saying, well, until Deshaun gets back, if no further suspension does happen, he's gonna miss 6 games. So I think Jacoby, I think the first 3 games, first they play the Jets, a couple easy teams. They can come out 3-3. So, which
Yeah,
means they can at least win, 10 games when Deshaun does come back, or a
yeah,
total of 10 games. So I have him in the B tier. I
same.
don't know about you. Yeah,
I also have them in the B tier. Yeah,
last year they went 8-9. I think it's comfortable to put him there in the B tier as well.
yeah.
So,
And this is a team that could go on a run. Think a la Colts last year.
hmm
Could start off rough, and
hmm
then they could really hit their stride. But hopefully, they just don't lose to Jacksonville. I mean, can you double check who's their Week 18 opponent? Let's
yeah,
let's
yeah.
hope it's not Jacksonville.
Let's see.
Just kidding. It's a joke.
Okay.
All right, we got the Cowboys last year. Last year, the Cowboys had 12 wins. I
Yeah,
don't
12-5.
personally think they got better. You lose
hmm
Amari Cooper. I mean, they didn't get much worse, but I don't think they got better as a team. I have them in this B 8 to 11 win
Yeah,
tier.
I completely agree. I have him there as well. Like you said, 12-5 this past year. The Eagles get better defensively and offensively. Washington football team has a better quarterback. The Giants, in my opinion, are going to have a good defense and not a good offense. So I think just the division
Yep.
alone took one step up this year. So these easy games that the Cowboys are going to go into is not going to be so easy this year. So just in the NFC East specifically. So
Yeah.
I have them in the B tier.
All right, the Broncos. I have them at the top of my B tier. I do think that they can make it into the playoffs, but when you look at this AFC West, I think we need to be a little bit realistic. Not everybody can be an A team. Just mathematically,
Mm-hmm.
we can't have
Agreed.
4 AFC West teams in the A tier. So I think they will be around the 8 to 11 wins this year, the Broncos.
Yeah, this
I
past.
more imagine 9, 9, 10, like in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they can
But
definitely. We're going to see them probably flip flop here. I can see them going 10, 11, 12, being right on that edge of the B and A tier.
yeah,
But I actually do have them in the B tier as well. This past year went 7-10. They were last in the AFC West. And the Broncos at time were good. They have a good defense. They didn't have a
yeah.
quarterback. Now with
Remember
the
that game
quarterback.
against Dallas? When they beat Dallas, that
Mhm.
was
Oh
you
yeah, I
kind of
remember
showed
that.
their defensive abilities, and now you get Russell Wilson.
hmm
All right, we got to go quick fire, not quick fire, but we need to get through some of these a little bit quicker. Lions, where do you have the Lions
I
at?
actually have the Lions also in the C tier. To be honest, there's only
Same.
one.
I also have them in the C
There's only
tier though.
one team that had, or two teams that had 3 or less games, and that was the Jags
For you?
and the Lions. No, this past year. So I think that's going to
Oh,
be really hard.
okay, right.
But yeah, I have them in
Sure.
the C tier.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from there. All right, the Packers. You lose Devontae Adams. You still have Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's fair to say that their defense could potentially be even better this year because they were a pretty good defense last year. I have them in this B tier, a team that's fighting for the playoffs.
hmm
I don't see them being true NFC contenders right now
Right.
because there's a lot of teams in the NFC that I think are much better than them, but I had them right in the middle of the pack of this sort of B tier here.
Yeah, I have them higher. I have them right next to the Broncos in my the higher part of B last year, 13-4. Once again, I think they can definitely repeat something like that, 12-5, 11-6, whatever the case may be. So I feel comfortable there.
Okay, cool. We have a video we're recording later on AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones. And I have some thoughts to share on this Packers team, but overall, I'm not worried that they won't make the playoffs, but I don't think they're NFC contenders. We'll talk about that.
We'll see
in a different video if you guys are subbed to the channel. So now we are at the Houston Texans. Where have you got the Houston Texans ranked here?
Yeah, look, this is the one team I do have in my F tier. This past year went 4-13. Arguably, they did get better. Davis Mills in his second year. I think they can get more than 3. I don't think there's gonna. It's just so tough.
So it's hard to not win 3 games. Sure, that's what you're saying, right? Like it's hard to not hit that mark.
Yeah, it's hard not to hit it. That's
I actually had them in the C tier.
Okay.
And the reason is that division is not good. It's hard for me to envision playing the Jags twice, the Titans twice, who are a good team. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm not saying.
Right.
But they're struggling this year, I think. It's hard for me to not see the Texans winning at least 3 games.
Exactly.
I think they were a worse team last year, and they won 4 games. So I actually have them. I have them in this C tier. I think they could potentially win more games than the Lions, but I'm happy to kind of meet them here at the F tier. But I do think that they will win more than 3 games personally.
Right. I think talent wise, I would say the Lions. But yeah, that division.
I don't disagree there.
The division is a lot harder. Packers, Bears, et cetera, et cetera. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. All right, we have the Colts up now. I have them in the B. I think this is another team. What's the difference between Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz? I do think that there's more competent play, but how many wins extra do you get? I don't think this is making this team. What were they last year?
9-8.
Can you remember off the top of your head? 9-8.
Yeah.
I don't think this is now a 13-win team. I think 11 wins is possible. So I put them towards the top of this list, right around a couple other teams. But I kind of have them right towards the top of this B tier.
Right, yeah, I have them towards the end. I think they're going to be more at the edge of 8, 9, 10, or I guess 8, 9 essentially. So
yeah,
I kind of have them right there at the edge. So I kind of like where I have them personally. But yeah, I have them in the B tier as well. I don't think they'll get another double digit. I don't think they'll have a double digit win season.
I think they actually improved though. I mean,
100%.
like with Matt Ryan,
I do think
Stephon Gilmore's on the team as well. I think that this team got better, and I definitely understand where you're coming from for sure. But again, that division, they are favored in every single game.
Yeah, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Maybe the Titans at home, you can favor the Titans, but it just makes it easier to get some of those wins. All right, we got the Jags here. Where do you got the Jags?
I'm in the C tier this past year.
Same.
3-14, last in the AFC South. I think they could improve and win more than 3 games, but I don't think they'll win more than 8. So
yeah, no way.
Yeah, that's where
I would say the ceiling for this team is 6 wins. If this team goes out there and puts up 6 wins, and Trevor Lawrence looks good, I think Jags have a lot of things to be excited about. Truly,
yeah, I can definitely see that.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
where do you have Where do you have this team?
Yeah, beloved Chiefs, 12-5 this past year. Look, I have them in the B tier as well. I don't know about you. I don't know if they could arguably they got worse. Hypothetically, like they lose Tyreek, one of the most explosive weapons in the NFL. They do have Travis Kelce. They do have Patrick Mahomes, Sky Moore, Juju. I think they will be a lot more efficiency over time towards the end, but I think they'll probably lose a lot of early games because of the chemistry maybe won't be there. So they'll have a late run, kind of what they did last year. They'll have a late run of wins, but I think once again, a tough AFC West. Now Russell
It
Wilson's
is a
in
tough
there.
division for sure.
Now Russell Wilson's there, so no wins guaranteed in the AFC.
I would advocate that. I would advocate that. I know, like I definitely see where you're coming from. I think a lot of people think that. I personally don't think he actually got that much. We got that much worse. The Chiefs did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you did lose Tyreek Hill, but you also added MVS. You added Sky Moore. You added Juju. So you lose one wide receiver, and what is Tyreek worth? We can't quantify that, right?
According to them,
I think
3.
you become a more complete offense. You still have the deep ball in MVS and McColl.
Mm-hmm.
You still have over the middle with Juju and Sky. And Sky can play out of the backfield. He can play wherever you want him to. You still have the best tight end in the game. And then where I think it really evens out is this is a better defensive team than it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is an even losing Tyrann Mathieu. If you're a Chiefs fan, then you will probably be aware of his collapse towards the end of the year last year. I'm not surprised that they didn't bring him back personally, but I think this team is more complete. I have them at the very end of my A tier. I do think that they can win 12 games, but I imagine there's other teams that I really want to fight for. I haven't fought for really any team just yet, so I'm gonna hold my cards close to my chest. I'm happy to put them at the very top of this B tier, but I do think that they can win 12 games.
Yeah, I have
them in that A tier.
I have them between the Broncos and the Packers for me. So Broncos, Chiefs, Packers in the B tier. Okay. They're in the very top. I do believe they'll probably get 11, 10, 11. They're on the edge of 12. I'm not saying they're not.
Sure.
But I think there will just be a lot more bumps in the road than what we maybe expected. Because there was a lot of bumps this past year, and that was with Tyreek. Now with the new offense.
Sure.
There's going to be.
Everyone was counting them out. Everyone told me week 6 they want a playoff team. I was like, oh my god, here we go. Chargers.
Los Chargers.
This is a pretty clear A team for me.
Yeah.
I actually have them right above I actually had the Chiefs here, so I think I think the Chargers should win this division personally. Yeah. But that's where I have them.
The Chargers definitely improved 9-8 this past year. They're going to continue. Justin Herbert, another year. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. This team just gets better defensively, offensively. Yeah. Something special is going to happen in Los Angeles.
Khalil Mack.
Sheesh.
All right, we got the Dolphins here. I personally have them as an 8-11 win team. I have them right here, kind of right behind the Cardinals. I think that they can be. I think that the Dolphins have the talent to be in this A tier to win 12 to 14 games. But I also don't think they have the advantage that some of the other teams do in that division. So yeah,
I have them in the B tier as well. Once again, this past year, 9-8, on the edge here, almost a double-digit win. So it still feels comfortable putting them here in the B tier, 8-11.
Agreed. Vikings. I couldn't put them in the B tier. I think they can win 8 games, but the Vikings, they just always find a way to underperform. And I think it's a great team. I think Kirk is going to have a good year. Jefferson's going to have a good year. Defensively, I don't think they got better at all. And this was not a very good defensive team last year. So I put them in the 4-8. They're right at the top of this 4-8 win category for me. You know, if you're expecting, I think the Vikings can win 10, 11 games. Well, they could have won 10 to 11 games every year. And they always underperform. So it's hard for me to put them in the B tier, but I don't know if you have anything differently.
No, I'm right on the edge there as well. I actually have them at the end of my B tier. This is my very last team, one of the very last teams in my B tier, purely because of they do mess up all the time, but they're always consistent there, from 4-8. 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins. I think they can break it this year. I'm pretty sure they broke it last year, if I'm not mistaken. No, I don't think they did. No. But I think they can definitely get 9 wins here. So I have them at the end, literally one of the last teams on my B tier. So I'm happy to put them in the C tier, though. And if there's some other team to jumble around.
I agree that this team could win 11 games. Like, this team is capable of winning 11 games, totally. They have the talent on the team. It's like it's so hard to bet on any over for the Vikings. Single time. They're always disappointing us. All right, Mac Jones in the Patriots. Where you
have them in the B tier as well. 10-7 this past year. I think they'll continue to get better. Another year with Mac. Another year with Bill. Something special is going to happen.
Who do you have winning the AFC East? I have the Dolphins winning the AFC East, but
you have the Dolphins winning.
I have the Dolphins winning the AFC East over the
Bills.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant getting second place. Like between the Patriots and the Dolphins. Who do you have more wins?
Patriots
Is
and
what I meant to
Dolphins.
ask.
I would say the Patriots. I have the Patriots over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's pretty close for me, but I do think the Dolphins will be giving the Bills more
100%.
struggles than the Patriots.
100%.
Okay, so we have the Saints. Where do you got them?
Los Saints. I have them in the C tier.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I have them in the C tier. 9-8 this past year. I don't know if they can push it to the next level this year. Michael Thomas is going to come back. Jameis Winston's there. Another team on the cusp of winning more than 8 games. Just I don't know if I can put my money on there. They struggled a lot last year.
I might have to advocate for this team then, just because this team was 9-8 last year, right? So you lose Sean Payton, but what do you gain? You lose Sean Payton, you gain Jameis Winston back again, who was extremely efficient. You gain Michael Thomas, you gain Chris Olave, you gain Jarvis Landry, and friendly reminder, I think some people are forgetting that the Saints, guys, they are the only team to shut out Tom Brady in the last 15 years. The only team to ever shut out Tom Brady in the last 15 years. This is a legit defense, a legit top 5, top 10 defense. So I want to advocate for them in the B tier personally.
Yeah, look, we can put them in the B tier. I think there's just, once again, another team that's going to, I think, struggle. Is going to play. They played the Bucs twice. It's not an easy division. Well, I guess technically it is an easy division with the Falcons and Panthers. But I don't know if I see them. I think they're just going to struggle. They're going to struggle a lot more. Another year, new people, new weapons. Alvin Kamara could miss however many games if he does get suspended. If he does get suspended, that will definitely solidify the reason of me putting them in the C tier.
Sure. I'm going to advocate for them in the B tier. I think they're at worst the second best team in their division. So I'm going to advocate for them. I haven't advocated for a team, so I'll advocate for the Saints here.
Okay.
Giants. I have them in the F tier. I'm pretty sure you're not going to have them there.
I have them. Look, they're on the edge.
I think they're the worst team in the NFC East, personally.
I have them on the edge, 4-13. I think they can win 4 games again, but I'm happy to put them in the F tier. But yeah, I don't think we would. Once again, we're either going to be really bad or really good. I don't want to be in the middle. It's either going to be 4 less or 9 and more. 9 and more is still in the middle. But yeah, that's me.
All right. I have them in the F, but I'm happy to put them in the C. We got the Jets here. I also have the Jets in the C. Kind of just like the Jags. I think they're capable of winning 6 to 7 to 8 games, but I don't think they'll lose, enough to put them in F. How about the Raiders? I actually think the Raiders are extremely talented. I have them towards the top of this B tier. Again, all these AFC West teams are going to be fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I have them in the middle of the pack. I have them after the Browns on my screen. So I think it's a tough division. I think this team will just miss the playoffs just purely because it's so tough. I think that the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos are a lot more complete and talented with, playoff caliber people than the Raiders outside of the quarterback.
We got the Eagles here. Where are you placing the Eagles?
I have the Eagles in the B tier.
Same. I kind of have them right around the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins and Eagles, I think you could say they're just as talented as each other.
Yeah, agreed.
Both have incredible wide receivers, questionable quarterbacks, good defenses. Steelers. I think this is going to be controversial, but there are so many good teams in the AFC South, in their division.
Yeah.
You got the Browns. You got the Bengals. You've got the Ravens. I think this is the first year they have a negative. This is Mike Tomlin's first and only year where he is not above 500. I think this is an 8-9 team here this year. 8 wins.
Okay, yeah, I have them. I have them going the same. 9-7, 9-8. I feel like that feels really comfortable. I think they will struggle, but I think this team is always so talented defensively, offensively.
Sure.
Whether it's Mitch, Kenny, Mason Rudolph, I think they can get at least 8 wins. So it might not be over 500, but 100% 8 wins. So I hear you on that.
We got the Niners here. I mean, this team made it to the NFC Championship last year. You go to Trey Lance. I think that this team will be just as good as they were last year, as in they can make a run. Not that they will, but they won 10 games last year. I don't think that they're not going to win 10 games. I have them right in the middle of the pack of this B tier.
I have them in the pack as well. I think I have them more towards the end. I don't know if they can get to the double digits where getting the 10 wins, but I do have them getting 8 wins, 8, 9 wins.
Okay.
So I'm there with you.
All right, we got to go rapid fire because we don't have a ton of time left. I have the Seahawks as another F team.
Agreed.
I think they are by far the worst team in their division. And I think they are probably the one team in the NFL that I can look at and say, this team got worse. Like, how do you lose Russell Wilson and not be one of the teams that got worse than most other teams?
Agreed.
So I'm going to put them in the F tier.
Yeah.
We got the Titans.
12-5 this past year. I have them in the B.
Yeah, what do you think?
I have them in the B tier. Okay. I think they can get at least 8 wins as well. Them and the Colts are going to be competing for the AFC South.
Sure. I have one team in my S tier, and there's 2 teams left.
Okay, well,
you want to guess who it is?
I don't have them in the S tier.
Okay.
I don't have either of these teams in my S tier. I'll tell you that much.
You don't have Washington in your S tier? I have the Bucs in my S tier. Now, look, the odds that a team wins 15 games is quite low. It really is. But this team is so good. They brought everyone back. Tom Brady is back. They got weapons all over the field. Yep. And I personally think if there is a team that wins 15 games, it's the Bucs. Like, that's a team I point to, and I think, yeah, they could win 15 games. I think the most likely scenario is that they don't, but just to have, call my shot, one team that wins 15 games, I will put the Bucs there. But
That's fair.
I'm assuming that you don't have them in the
S tier.
S tier.
No, I don't have them in the S tier. I have them in the A tier. If we're calling shots, if there was one team I'm saying can win 15 plus games, I think it has to be the Bills. I think maybe that's cop out, but we all know what Josh Allen is. With this team gets better defensively and offensively, in my opinion, with James Cook, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I have him in the A tier still.
The only thing I would say there is just I think that the Bills have a much tougher division. You're going against the Patriots. The Dolphins are super talented.
Yeah.
Whereas the Bucs, you didn't even have the Saints in the B tier.
No.
And we got the Falcons down there. We got the Panthers down there.
I think they have a tough. All these teams in the A tier, I'm pretty sure, have the top side of the toughest schedule amongst the NFL. Yeah. So all these guys are going to.
If you actually do look, that's another thing I did take into account. I'm glad you said that. If you look at strength of schedule, the Bucs actually have the 7th easiest strength of schedule this year. The 7th easiest. If you look at the Bills, they're 18th.
Okay.
So they do have a tougher schedule. I was even looking at teams like the Rams. Rams have they have the 2nd hardest schedule in the entire NFL. Bengals are kind of middle of the pack as well. So that's why I was looking at strength of schedule, teams, divisions, and I thought, hey, the Bucs are probably the only team I could see winning 15 games. But again, I don't think any team does.
Yeah. Your beloved.
And then, of course, we have Washington, who are obviously going to win the Super Bowl this year. But no, I have this team around 4 to 8 wins. Yeah. I have them right around where the Vikings are.
Agreed. I have them there as well. Last year, 7 and 10.
Because I think we'll hit 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah. So makes sense.
Okay, so in reality, if we're being
here.
Extremely realistic,
Less than a minute.
This is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
But we're optimistic.
It feels good.
Both of us. I think Bucs. You think the Bills. Let us know in the comments below what you think. It's okay. You can let us know your thoughts.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.